Allo, bonjour, ça va? And how are we tonight? It is Monday, December the 22nd, 2025, here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the beautiful, frozen, icy, snowy shores of Lake Huron. It is now winter here. We had our solstice yesterday. It was a very high day. It was a good day. Quite enjoyed it. Wrapped up the evening last night at midnight by finishing up watching a live stream from that geophysicist I like to watch in regards to, um, you know, cosmology, shall we say, and more. And he finished up, which was interesting. He's the one I've told you about, and I posted on my Facebook page about the Three Eye Atlas. But he gives tons of other information about constellations, astronomy, astrology, like the whole bit, right? You can't separate it, it's all one. And he ended it with a beautiful crystal singing bowl meditation, and that was a wonderful way to wrap up the day. I had no idea what was to come out of yesterday's energy fields of higher light. So I had a very long sleep, got up as usual, first thing as usual. My normal routine, went into meditation, only I didn't come out of it until 2 hours later. And even then, I could hardly move. My body didn't want to move. It wanted to stay there even longer. I thought, I really have to get up. It's 10 in the morning. I've got to get something accomplished today. What came through during that meditation was nothing I was expecting. So we're going to go into this little revealing talk. I talked it over with my light team and my guides, like, is this appropriate? Should we go into this kind of stuff? I'm not getting a no. I'm getting that it's okay. So I'm going to relate one incident that happened to me as a child. I guess nowadays we would call it a traumatic experience. It involves violence in the family. I have sort of talked a little bit here or there about that. From my work for the past 20 years, and even personally before that, I think it's really a lot more common than we would like to believe. So I'm not saying everybody is coming out of a violent family in one way, shape, or form, but it's a lot more common than what we think, or what we would like to think. Let's put it that way. So these emotional incidents that happen, that occur to us, it seems, without rhyme or reason, right? But then in retrospect and looking back, we're taught a lot about our own fields of light. So again, this is a learning experience here. So in this little story, I'm hearing it as a vignette. Anyway, I don't know if we use those words anymore. It's an old word. I was really little. I can't remember the age, but we were, as a family, sitting around looking at the TV after dinner. So I know we got the TV when I was around 6 years of age. So I don't know, 7 or 8. I think I was in public school, so it'd be young. So we're sitting there. I'm sitting with my dad on one couch. My mom with my brothers were sitting on another couch, engrossed in this TV show. And no, I don't remember what it was. Now, in my neighborhood, as I've said, there were very few girls for me to hang out with. And so I ended up having to hang out with the boys, with the boy gangs. it's not like a gang like what is in existence now. It's just a whole lot of guys, whole lot of young boys, and getting into mischief and stuff, as is, their nature. And I was the only girl and the youngest and the little girl, and I became used to, running with the boys. So while I was hanging out with the boys, I would hear these swear words that I'd never heard anywhere before because my parents did not swear. Okay? They didn't drink, they didn't smoke, they didn't gamble. They were pretty outdoorsy nature people. And they didn't have that kind of a lifestyle. So when I heard these words, which I had no clue what they meant, I was always curious, well, what does that word mean? Or what does that word mean? So then I'd go and I'd try it out on my either my older brothers or and that night watching TV, I tried it out on my dad. I don't know why I said it, but I called him this name, and it was not a good name, and I'm not going to say it now. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know if it was good, bad, or ugly. I just wanted to know what it meant. And the next thing I knew, I was looking up at the ceiling in the dining room. Now, we were sitting in the living room. The living room dining room was it was like the wartime kind of houses where a living room dining room was one large rectangular room, usually at the front of the house. We had been at the one end. I ended up on the floor. When I opened my eyes, I was looking at the ceiling. I had no idea how I got there. I was right beside, we had a number of big picture windows because we were on a hill overlooking a little lake. And my dad, he built the house and he'd put in these beautiful, gigantic, big picture windows, they were called. They're solid, you couldn't open them. And not too many houses had that, but we had one from the kitchen overlooking the lake, and then we had one in the dining room, we had one in the living room, and later we had one in another room on the main floor, or no, two more. So it was basically all glass, which, he was way ahead of his time in that regards. So that's where I was under. I was under that big picture window on the floor, looking up at the ceiling. Now, that memory has come back previously, but again, I don't know how I got there. I don't know how long I was there for. My throat chakra's acting up. It's going to be a little hard to get all this out. And I kind of laid there dazed, trying to figure out, okay, where am I? Why am I in the dining room? I don't know if my little body hit the chairs, the dining room chairs on the way over, or whether I bounced off the window or some other part of the dining room wall. I don't know. Zero memory recall. So what I did when I came to in my meditation and the memory was front and center for me to look at, I asked, okay, so show me this. This is many decades later. Excuse me, as you can see, I'm a mature woman, and I'm okay looking at this stuff now. I totally lost it, that memory. I totally blanked out until fairly recently when the memory started coming back, but it was only a little piece. I didn't know the whole story. So I decided today I'm going to ask what actually happened, because I have no memory recall of this whatsoever. So I asked what happened, what was going on in Dad's mind, what was going on in Mom's mind. Mom didn't do anything. She just sat there, as far as I know, but I could be wrong about that. When I came to, and I'm kind of looking around, my family was still sitting on the couch, watching the TV. Nobody was talking. It was very quiet. Could have heard a pin drop. Nobody was moving or talking or fidgeting, nothing. So I asked, first of all, why did that not kill me? Because the brunt force of that, if it knocked me out and I was so little, what happened? Like, show me or tell me what happened. I want to know. I'm ready to know now. I can look at this. I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of this. I don't want to, cover it up. I don't want to be blank anymore. I want to know what happened. I'm curious. Why did this not kill me? And apparently my heart did stop, is what I was hearing. I also was hearing Dad's thoughts on it at the time. He felt very bad afterwards for what he did, but I triggered something in his ego, apparently. And it had something to do with him not feeling good enough about himself. And he just reacted. I think he pretty much picked me up and threw me like a football. I think that's what happened. That's the best picture that I'm getting on it. When I asked about why did Mom not defend me or do something, because I know if that had been me with my kids, I would have gone on the attack. No questions asked, and not caring what happened to me. But she was so terrified of my dad, of being beaten up by him, that she just sat there frozen in fear. I get it. I totally can understand that. Not holding any grudges against any of them. I just wanted to understand what actually happened and why is this memory being awakened now? What has happened that I'm getting this information now? Obviously, I wasn't able to look at this when I was younger. Obviously, I'm quite able and capable and wanting to see it now so I can progress forward. And any kind of fears or emotional attachments or anger or hatred or belittlement or control, whatever, I don't want to have any of those lower attachments. I want to understand this fully. So then I'm asking the question this morning in meditation when I came to, like, if my heart stopped, like, why am I here? I'm obviously here. I didn't really get an actual answer, but I was kind of shown all the other times when I could have crossed over as well. So there was a stipulation made apparently that in this lifetime that wasn't going to happen because it happened so many times previously that this was an important lifetime for me to be here and to stay here no matter what. So that was just one of many episodes where I could have passed over apparently, and that's all I got on it. So I was asking, like, this is really weird. Why is this coming up now? But I keep getting shown back to the energies. New moon on the 19th, the solstice on the 21st, Three-Eye Atlas, doing its flyby, awakening everybody's subconscious awareness, the portals of higher light. That's what it was doing. It is still, but it's kind of out of range now for that magnificent big blast that it sent off, and it came onto our planet. The sun's rays are activating these promising, I'm hearing it as like statements of light for us to take a big bite out of our dark of night. So it's to wake us up, basically. That's how I'm reading it or getting the information. That's how I'm taking it. Maybe other people are tuning in and getting a different rendition. I don't know. All I can tell you is how it is appearing and being shown to me. Okay, that's what it's all about. So you cannot not see. We are to open that higher vibrational gateway or doorway in the higher light. So when we've warned you and talked to you about seeing yourself, this is the moment when your conscious awareness awakens. You have to know everything, all and everything about yourself, yourselves, your higher selves, your lower selves. You got to see it all. Sometimes it's not a pretty picture. Sometimes we don't want those memories back. Sometimes we just want to gloss over it, or like we said the other day, sweep it under the rug, hide our head in the sand, whatever, just so that, oh, please, I don't want to see this. Do I have to relive that memory of what happened to me? But from the time that I guess he picked me up, my dad picked me up, to the time I woke up in the dining room staring at the ceiling, I have no memory recall of anything in between. Because usually I can go back and look at it and go, oh, this is what happened. I can see it. I'm given the record of it. I can see it. I can hear it. I know it. And there's nothing. There's just nothing. So I'm taking it that I did go out of body in preparation for passing over. Because that's kind of sort of what we do. Before we pass over, especially if it's something, fast or violent or quick or whatever, you actually go out of body before any of that horrible physical stuff hits you. Okay, when it's your time to go. So that is my thought on it, is that I was already stepping out because I didn't want to feel the pain. I don't remember feeling pain when I got up off of the floor to go back to sit on the couch right beside my dad like nothing ever happened. Nothing happened here. Nothing to see here, folks. And life just went on like it never happened. That's how we handled it in our family. Shh, don't talk about it. How many times did Mom say, don't talk about that. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. Okay, that's how it was handled in our family. We don't talk about it at all. But sometimes when we feel the need to express certain things, they come out of the subconscious anyway. So we'll have these moments of being triggered. We don't know where it's coming from. We don't know where it's going to. But we're all waking up to the old memory codes in the higher light. So we have to dissolve the old ones that gave us anxiety or fright. My crown right now is going nuts. There's a lot going on in here. I think I was on another tangent to talk about before I got off topic, so hopefully it'll come back because I don't remember it now. If I don't finish that one thought, it's gone. And I've said to clients too, when I'm on a roll and giving you the download, if you interrupt me, then I lose it and I can't get back to it. And that's kind of what I feel just happened now. So hopefully I'll get a reminder as to where that thought was going to go. But if you're feeling this emotional uprising, if you're feeling these weird feelings or thoughts or expressions, this is where it's coming from. It's within you and the collective. Oh, thank you. I just got reminded I was going to talk about the physical consequences of hitting whatever it was that I hit that knocked me out. So this morning meditation, again, my next question was, I remember when I got up off the floor and I walked back to the couch and sat down and life continued on like nothing happened. I don't recall being in any pain at all. And I thought, how did that work? I mean, none of this makes any sense. In 3D reality, there should have been something, bump, bruise, bleeding, broken bone, disjointed something or elbow I'm hearing, so maybe my arm hit first. but it was the left side of my body that hit. And while I was asking these questions about my physical body, how did my physical body, manage to come through this unscathed? Apparently it wasn't unscathed. I just didn't know. So as I was taken back to that time period and that memory code, I felt the whole left side of my body kind of be shattered. And it was like all out of whack because the whole left side got hit, apparently. This was the first time I saw this morning. Whole left-hand side. Totally, spinal column, the neck, everything out of whack. I've had back problems all my life. Didn't know where it started from. I did have a lot of falls, it's true, and I just chalked it up to the falls that I had as a kid. But I was seeing this, I was being shown this, and I felt the pain. For the first time, I actually felt the pain of the whole left-hand side of my body, and my spinal column, and the neck. And right then, at that exact moment, when the memory came back and I felt the pain in my physical body, my left hip went out. And I felt the pain radiate all the way down to my knee, and then my knee was in pain. First the left hip, then the left knee, went down to the foot. I did manage to get up and walk around today, but then it went over to the right side because your right side's going to compensate, or your opposite side compensates for any injury, okay? Because that side has to take the brunt of doing the walking around. So by the end of the day today, my ankle is swollen, my right ankle is swollen, I'm in pain, I can barely walk. These are physical body maneuvers. I'm hearing to say that this body is going to go through to rejuvenate its own cell-light activity, to re-inhabit the bloodstream and the body fractures and features of the higher light. So the body's trying to really compensate for being in the lower light all these years, all this time. So the body is realigning. Realigning the spine is kind of sort of painful. And if you've had any back injury or anything at all, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I haven't had a very good day today, physically speaking. However, that higher revelation for me has made it a good day. So I'm happy that I found out all of this information. It's a little painful, but then I'm going to sort through it. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to heal it. But this is how healing begins, in the skin. That's how I'm hearing it to say to us tonight. Any emotional trauma is accompanied with the physical trauma. There's mental and emotional traumas that affect the physical, let alone the spiritual. Your spirituality gets way out of whack too. So this is us coming back to our higher track and making sure that we get back and come out of our lack. Okay. So we may have all of these physical traumas going on, let alone the mental and the emotional, that we may not even be aware of, that we've blocked in the subconscious awareness, or we've been lied to and said, no, that event didn't even happen. Because my family pretended and acted like it always did. Nothing happened here. Nothing to see here. Nothing to talk about here. Either dad or mom or my brothers had a moment. Oh well. Are you alive? Yeah, you're still alive, man. We didn't go to the doctor in those days. It cost money out of pocket. So it wasn't done. It was too expensive. Okay, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. So if you're going through upheavals in your higher light, This is the reason why we are going through all these traumas in the lower light. We're resting and digesting. We're balancing. We're changing the game from the old way of pain, blame, shame, hidden in our disdain, and we're switching it to the higher frame of light. So we give you this example tonight so that you can use this in reference to your own self, or maybe somebody else you're in the process of helping to recover from some kind of memory, some kind of code of lower light, some trauma, in other words, and they're having so much trouble working through it. This is divine guidance. When it comes through, it's not meant as a punishment or to put you down or have you feel less than or, oh, I'm just such a horrible being. No, it's to wake you up to the incidents of your lower light. What happened to you? Everybody's been through some sort of trauma. It's just some of us have gone through way more than others. There's always a whole slew of reasons. I'm not going to get into that topic here. We've talked about karma and you reap what you sow. We've talked about all that stuff before. That's not the point of today's message or tonight's message. It's to show you how relief comes through approaching your lower light, seeing it, and resolving those past issues. However, in however way, shape, form you need to do it, just do it and get it done. It's not always fun. I didn't feel any emotional pain this time because when the memory first came back, I was kind of like, oh, I'm in shock. Like, did that really happen? Like, I do remember that. I do remember calling my dad that word. I was just trying to figure out, like, what does it mean? Like, I think it's a bad word. And I see what happens when the boys call each other that name. And ooh, they're tough, you know. So it took me a really long time till I actually grew up to figure out what that word meant. You don't really hear that word too much. Again, it's an older word from my time period of growing up. But obviously, it was a massive trigger for my father. If he didn't actually view himself that way, I don't think he would have been that upset. So again, coming from low self-worth, coming from control, I can just do what I want, and he pretty much could. You know, again, I grew up in a time period where corporal punishment in school or wherever was totally acceptable. It was okay. It was an okay thing to do. So nobody really got upset about it. If any of this stuff happened now, it'd be a very different story, wouldn't it? But then it was just, you know, what happens in your house happens in your house, you know. So we all have our burdens to bear, as I'm hearing it, and we all have to work through them. You want to come raise your frequency and come back to your higher light, you're going to have to take a look at some of these old memories that are being resurrected right now. It's not to put you to blame, shame, all that stuff, or feeling lowly or unworthy or whatever. It's to show you what you've been through and how far you've come and how much energy you've used up in hiding them and covering them up, being a burden. Because once the memories come up and you clear them and you resolve everything, I asked all the questions that came to mind to ask. I feel like it's totally resolved and I can move on from this now. This is like a big burden comes off your back. It's a big weight. It's like you feel free. It's like, wow, I'm in my higher angelic energy. Okay, so there's nothing to hold you down. And the older you are, the more stories you've got. But from my experience working with people, So it's the older ones. We're the ones who are working. We want to work on it. We want to get rid of it. We want to clear it. The younger ones, you don't have so much baggage or garbage or stories. And you're too busy creating your life to even think about what happened in the past. But you get to a point where you're ready to look at it. I'm hoping that things can be sped up and people in their younger years will actually take a step back and look at themselves and work through this process of coming back to their higher light. Because that will give you angelic respite. God bless. We give you peace, love, and light. We're done talking with you tonight. Okay. I guess we're done. So there we go. Show and tell night for me tonight. Sometimes that happens, right? So you know when you can talk about it that the trigger's gone, the emotional trigger, that embarrassment, that, oh, people will think lowly of me. It's like, no, it's got nothing to do with it. It's a traumatic event. You've got to clear it mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and come back to your higher light. Now, my poor body is processing this energy now. I really wish I'd processed it when I was younger, because the older you get, the harder it seems to release physical pain. But tomorrow is another day, so we'll see how this body functions tomorrow. But don't be afraid of it, right? Be glad of it when it comes up for viewing, like a little television screen or a movie screen, and that's how you see it. Interact with it. Ask questions. Well, what did that mean? Or why did that happen? Or what was so-and-so thinking when they did that to me? Or maybe you were the perpetrator. Maybe you hurt somebody. Like, what were you thinking? Why did you do that? Because there's going to be a lot of guilt, too. There's going to be a lot of regret. We can't hold on to those emotions. They're base emotions, root chakra stuff. You can't hold on to that either. So whether you're the victim or the perpetrator, and we all play both roles, okay, you have to work through that if you want to raise your frequency and come into your higher light. I went through that in my 30s. Oh, that was intense. I had started with cranial sacral work, and who knew? Nobody even knew what that was. I tracked down somebody and they gave me a really big, long interview over the phone before they'd even admit that they did it. Like, you did this in secret at the time. Like, yeah. And I knew I had to do it. Did it for 2 years. Fixed my back better than anybody has ever fixed it. But, of course, it doesn't stay, right? That's why I like the dancing so much. It really helps me. Yoga helps me. You find things to help you. What else were we going to say? Yeah, so I started opening up with the cranial sacral that was being done, and I had memory recall of all these nasty things I'd done to people, and I was just in my 30s, so I didn't have a lot to clear, but I was in deep remorse, and everybody I had harmed in any way, shape, or form came up, flashed in front of me, and I'd have to cry it out, and and I went through this. This took a very long time. So that part I had worked through, and if anything does come up and I do something to somebody and then I go, oh, that shouldn't have done that, I go and immediately apologize. Like, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. So then what's been left is me reviewing myself. So we have to do both. Every time we do nasty stuff, and every time nasty stuff gets done to us, we got to do both sides of the coin here. Well, I hope that has helped someone tonight. Love you always. Take care of yourselves and others. If you do wish to book an appointment with us, this is something we can help you with. I can read that stuff in the past. If you can't see it clearly, I can read your subconscious issues. We can get that information. We can clear it up. It's pretty quick. We're pretty we're pretty fast here. So you can think about that. Just go on the booking website, www.healingourenergy.ca, and book your appointment there. All right, well, have a wonderful after solstice, and love you always. It's quite the journey here, isn't it? We'll get there. And we'll be back. We'll speak with you again. Bye for now.